And welcome. Yeah, for real. No, welcome to everybody that's here for this one. This is a super special edition. This is an extremely special edition, and here's why. Because I'm coming to you from an all expenses one night paid vacation to the shittiest motel in Belvedere. Okay, so really long story, as the title says, persecution and everything else. And everybody knows that everything we've gone through for the last 2 years, right? Pretty much everybody that watches this does know that, we've got the park trying to evict us because of the Bible verse signs out front. We've had the cops called on us for our Bible studies multiple times. We've been falsely accused of horrendous things. We've been banned from churches. We've been banned from places. We've been banned from public. We're banned, pretty much banned from going outside of our house out of fear of getting written up just for existing um, by the so-called whatever you would. I don't even know. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. So somebody somebody went the extra mile. Somebody called and made some false reports with a government agency against not just my family, but my neighbors. And so here we are. And I find it funny because at the end of the day, at the absolute end of the day, I know for a fact I've got no worries. We don't do anything. We literally read the Bible all day, every day. I preach all day, every day. I'm lucky if I leave my couch. I'm always comments, always preaching, always reading, always showing people, always the gospel. It's always the gospel, and it's always going to be the gospel. It comes first. Now, we're doing this today because what happened and why I'm in the motel right now, as you can look around, this is not my normal scenery. So somebody decided to call and make a false report with DCFS or DCF or child whatever they're called. They decided to make some very heavy allegations, and the DCFS guy showed up. Of course, I stood in front of my kids, said, if you're gonna take my kids, it's gonna be over my dead body. And I called the police. I absolutely called the police. Police came. We talked to them. They said that they're not really sure if they have the right to take the kids, which they actually didn't. They had no right to take the kids, but they were going to get a judge to have me come, to leave, right? But it's only temporary. It's very absolutely temporary. I love my family dearly. I protect my kids with my life, and so really, all in all over the Bible, because whoever did this only hates me because they still sin and I can't, and we don't. And we show people the truth. That's what we do. We show people the truth. So I want to go over a few scriptures about this and explain that this is what happened to Paul. This is what happened to Peter. This is what happened to John. This is what happened to Jesus. This is what happened to the prophets all before them. This is what happens to the people that preach the truth. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about, really, because that's what it's all about. And you've heard, like, everybody that watches this channel pretty much has seen me debate on signs and wonders, and you've heard all the fucked up shit that we get accused of, right? And it's not just me. Randall gets accused of it. He's here. Randall gets accused on all kinds of channels. Like, Carrie gets treated like shit everywhere she preaches. My wife, she had her wedding canceled over this, and I knew that day too, that the day is inscribed on the inside of my wedding. I can't even get it off. I got tan line. It's not coming off. Okay. So the day that the wedding got canceled and I got banned from the church because of 1 John 3:6. And that's why I got banned. The pastor in his own video says he banned us because I was going to have my kids read some Bible verses. Those Bible verses prove the pastor to be a liar. He knew it. So instead of letting them read the verses, he just canceled my wedding. He was afraid of some Bible verses. His own video, he admits it and excuses it and uses all these big words and long-winded ways around it. But I knew that day, it was November 17th, 2019. I knew that day that I had the truth. I knew that day that no matter what I did, I was going to be hated. I knew that day that Jesus wasn't lying. He said they will accuse you falsely. They will. What is the verse that's on the screen? Matthew 5:11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. And that's all that's happening right here. That's all that's going on. I have absolutely zero worries. Now the problem is, so my neighbor, right? They took her kid. They took her child today. And then here's the funny part. So it was my neighbor got it. My neighbor had DCFS show up. They took her daughter, right? Took her to another family member's house, and they told my neighbor, this is X, Y, and Z. They didn't give her any information. That the neighbor daughter has to be interviewed and interrogated, right? So she called us in tears, and we're like, okay. And she's like, I don't know who did this. I don't know what's going on, but they were asking about who she was friends with, right? They were asking her about who she's friends with. She said, I'm just friends with them. Less than an hour later, DCFS shows up at my house telling me that either I need to leave or my kids need to leave, and they're going to take my kids. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. I'm going to call the police. So I called the police. I was very peaceful about it because Jesus does say, turn the other cheek. I'm very upset. I'm very aggravated. I'm very agitated. I'm shook up that somebody could just, and here's the thing. So we talked to the DCFS guy because once the cops got involved, shit was serious, right? So this guy's on the phone with all of his supervisors, all of his people, everybody trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Because why did my neighbor's kid get taken an hour before they showed up at my house to take me or my kids? And I have 5 kids that live with me. I have 5 children. So, and 2 little ones that are absolutely devastated right now. You see right here, it was a message I got that says my son is asking for me, and I can't be there with him right now because of this. And so, so we got to the nitty gritty of it, and it turns out that it's just an anonymous phone call, a vague accusation at best, and they have no real answers to give us. None, zero. They give us no real answers. And the one thing the police managed to find out for sure is that it was absolutely an anonymous phone call. So in Illinois, where I live, it's a class 4 felony to make false reports to government agencies, right? So if somebody were to call the police and say that, I shot the neighbor's dog, but I never shot the neighbor's dog, and they showed up and find out it was false, that person can actually get arrested for wasting the time of the police and everything else. So it's a class 4 felony in Illinois. And so we've already got DCFS working on figuring out. I mean, I'm sure the guy knows. He's going to give me a bunch of phone numbers so that we can get this all taken care of, to figure out who actually did it and here's the trippy part. So DCFS took my neighbor's kid an hour before they came to my house. Same exact allegations against my neighbor, right? And then an hour later they show up at mine. So within 15, 20 minutes, somebody made 2 phone calls, right? And now the DCFS guy said that the case between me and the case with my house, right, me and my wife and kids, is completely separate from her case. So literally it's 2 separate same allegations, yet both cases are completely separate. So it's really weird. This is very weird. It's very awkward. And again, they said it was completely anonymous. They're just following protocol. Okay, follow protocol. I understand that. Good. You follow your protocol. And at the end of the day, I already know there's nothing. So I'm very upset. I'm very upset because not only this, we get the whole threats all the time that we're going to get evicted. We get written up all the time. We get treated like shit, falsely accused of horrendous things all the time. And it's not just this. I mean, I've been accused of a lot of shit that I just haven't done, like claiming to be Paul the Apostle. That never happened, right? Who was it? Nick said that I told some girl she was Mary incarnate. That never happened. All these false things flying around, and the accusations themselves only prove what we're preaching to be the truth. Because if it wasn't the truth, why do people hate us so much? Right? People hate the truth. That's it. People hate the truth. They don't want to see the truth. Truth hurts. If you sin, you're not saved. It's very simple. And so I know, no matter what, whoever it was, and I'm inclined to think that this is from much higher up than just some pissed off person I'm inclined to wonder, because at the end of the day, like, this is just ass backwards, man. Ass backwards. So the verse at the bottom of the screen, John 8:34. Jesus answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no mistakes. There's no other way to look at it. It says what it says. It means exactly what it says. It came out of Jesus's mouth, and Jesus didn't lie. And no matter how much you hate me, no matter how much you hate my family, no matter how much you hate my neighbors, or no matter how much you hate the people we deal with, no matter how much you hate us, you're not going to stop it. It's never going to happen, because the truth is the truth. And when people see the truth, they know it's the truth because it's the truth. So you either willingly turn your face, or you either willingly reject God, right? I love it when all these people say, oh, I don't believe in God. Well, you had to make a conscious decision not to do so. The fact that you had to decide not to believe in God proves in itself that there is a God, because you first had to accept that there was a God to make the decision not to believe in him. There's no way out of it. There's no way out. There's only one way out, and his name is Jesus. And that's what we preach. That's what we do. We read the Bible 10 hours a day. All my kids, they're smart as fucking, they're smart as they come. My kids are ruthless preachers. Ruthless preachers. They know the Bible just as good as I do. I've done my job as a dad. I'm a damn good dad, and I stand on that. And I miss my kids, and I miss my wife. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Really? But it's okay, because at the end of the day, I know, I know, I have the truth. I know the truth. I speak the truth. I miss my kitties. I miss my kids. I miss my kiddos. I really do. But this is what it is. Psalm 109:29. Let my adversaries be clothed with shame, and let them cover themselves with their own confusion as with a mantle. Let my adversaries be clothed with shame. And this is what I want to get into tonight, because this is good. Tonight is good. No matter how, like, I know it's rough. I know it's rough. I want to encourage my family and friends and the people around us to just let this light that fire under you, man. Let this serve as an example of what happens when you actually preach the truth, and then go preach it. You have to put up with it. You have to take the beatings. Jesus did it. Legit bullshit. Thank you, Carrie. Right now, yeah. Oh, dude, believe me, I went on that. I went on that. I'm like, oh yeah, who did it? That's how we found the anonymous, right? And then the police are like, wait, they were just at your neighbor's house. So my neighbor was there, and she's like, yeah, this is bullshit, right? Because they just took her kid. So, and within an hour of each other, boom, boom, her house, my house. So even the police were like, wait, and it's an anonymous phone call. I'm like, the dude, that's the one thing I want to get to the bottom from. It was absolutely anonymous. So they have a protocol that they have to follow, and that's okay. They can follow it, because at the end of the day, we're gonna find out. I mean, we're gonna find out who did it one way or another. There's a recording somewhere. There's something somewhere that's going to come to surface, or God will just get even. He said, "Vengeance is mine," saith the Lord, and I trust that. Oh, I trust that, because I've watched what God does to the people that fuck with us. I've watched it. I've watched him destroy them, like from the inside out. They just end up bitter and nasty, because that's just what he does. You see it playing out in the world. So no matter what happens, and I don't know why I'm doing this video really. I guess the vent. I'm bored. I'm by myself. Which I haven't been alone in fucking a year or more. I've always got multiple kids, I've got 5 kids, and I've always got at least 2 or 3 of them with me. I'm always surrounded by people, so this is weird. It's been 5 years since I've been to jail, so I really don't. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. This is ridiculous. Absolutely, and there's no. I don't even know what to say to it. Like, it just further proves it, even further, because we've dealt with all this shit. Everything that we deal with on a daily basis. We've got charges against the park, the Illinois, the place that we live, the park that we live in. We've got charges against them with the Illinois Department of Human Rights for the shit they've done to us because of our Bible verses, and the shit they've accused us of because of because we do Bible studies at my house every day. And that's the thing. Like, Even my neighbor knows. She comes over all the time to do Bible studies. She comes over and hangs out all the time. She knows that's all we do. Like, that's all we do. That's my entire life. I don't I'm just baffled. I'm absolutely utterly baffled, but I'm really at the end I'm laughing it off because I was praying on this and I'm like, man, Jesus, if the person if the people would listen, if that person would listen, he would forgive them, right? And so I do too. I really do too. One, because I know nothing's going to come out of it. Two, see, Randall, I was thinking it's probably the state's attorney. It's probably the state's attorney. I'm scared to go to sleep tonight, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I've been thinking about this, and I'm like, man, whoever did this knew that the removing of the house, one way or the other, was going to happen. So it just makes me nervous. It makes me very nervous. I have a lot of enemies, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it no matter what happens. Yeah, exactly. See, this is what it is. Park owners. It's something like this, right? These are the people that all they're doing is digging. That's what they're doing. They're fishing. They're gonna tear apart my entire life and nitpick everything. But here's the best part. They're not gonna find anything, dude, because I don't do shit. I sit on the couch and I preach the Bible. I smoke weed. It's legal where I live. I drink. It's legal where I live. And I don't even drink like I don't ever get drunk. And when I do, it's very rare, but I do. When I get drunk, I get drunk, but I'm not a violent drunk, never have been. I'm a fun drunk. So I don't have that problem. Alcohol's like the least of my worries. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not an addict. Like I have nothing for them to get me on. I've got nothing. They're going to get nothing out of it. Nothing. They're going to try their hardest and they're going to fall flat on their face. And whoever filed this shit, I'm going to find out. And they're done. I mean, that's just what it is. I'm going to do the best. I'm going to do the best I can. So, and whoever did do it, if you know who did it, if you did do it, then just know I forgive you and God's going to get even. Absolutely. And the fun part about it is I still can't sin. And whoever did this still does. And Jesus said, whoever sins is the servant of sin. So there's nothing for me to even be mad at. The person that did this to me is mad at themselves. And it's okay because nothing's going to come of it. And it just proves us even more, dude. It just proves it even more that we're preaching the truth. So, what up, Mike? I see you, dude. Yeah, I'm trying to read. I spent a week separated from my kids because DCFS. Oh, shit. Had the wrong address. Oh, dude. Oh, no, they can't do a week. No, they got to expedite this, man. They're going to have to expedite this. They know it's bullshit. They know it's bullshit because why would they take my neighbor's kid for the same thing and then come and take my kids for the same thing? But then our cases are completely unrelated. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even make any sense. What they're doing is they're fishing. They're on a fishing expedition. They're going to interview our children, and my children are going to take them to the fucking cleaners. Right? I hope they bring their Bibles. I really do. I John 8:34 the cop. Oh shit, Randall, that's what I was trying to tell you, dude. When the cop dropped me off at the motel, like everything was real cool. The only thing is it was embarrassing because we've had the cops called on us so many times. So we've had the cops called on us so many times for full bullshit, for absolute bullshit. Loud music, and then they show up and there is no music. The Bible studies they investigated last year, and everything was unfounded. Like we've had people call the police on us so many fucking times that the cops are like, "What the fuck?" So the only embarrassing part was I took the ride from the cops to get here. Like they paid for it. The city, the fucking city, is paying for me to stay at this motel and checkouts at 10. But it was still, dude, it was nice. Like, that's nice. I get my own bed. I got hot shower, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Free Wi-Fi, so I don't even have to worry about that. And I'm getting better service here than I do at home. So not, but I'm just saying, like, God still took care of us. The city's paying for this. So I don't even know where I'm going with this, man. Just at the end of the day, like, it's all gonna blow up in their face. It's all gonna blow up in their face because there is nothing. I'm trying to read comments. I'm just losing track. One of the people persecuted tonight was one of the ones persecuting. Ooh, look what he says. Look what Randall says. And this is the truth. He said, ironically, one of the people persecuted tonight, which was my neighbor, Laura, was one of the ones persecuting us when I first moved to Belvedere. Now she's converted and experiencing firsthand how real this is. Absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. I hear car doors outside. Man, I really don't like this place. But anyway, so this is what it was. Yeah, Laura was. She was the one that we had problems with a couple years ago, and I offered her husband $1,000 to do the Bible study, cash money, and he turned it down. Well, her and her husband ended up her and her husband ended up breaking up and going their separate ways. And she ended up doing a Bible study and getting converted. And so now, like, that's my neighbor. That's our sister. That's our family, right? Her family's my family. So when this happened to her today, we were all like, "Fuck." So I don't know, man. I don't know. She thinks it's Mike. I don't know if it's Mike. I really don't. I think it's much higher up. I think it's I think they're trying to dig into our lives to find something to crush us with, and that's not going to happen. That's the truth. It's not going to happen. All they're going to find is I'm still going to do Bible studies. So, Matthew chapter 5, verse 11, he says, "Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." And this is the same exact thing they did to them. This is the same exact thing they did to Peter, Paul, all of them. They all got falsely accused of bullshit. Nobody could ever prove anything. Like, and Jesus just kept his mouth shut. He didn't say anything. Paul argued with him, right? And then he, like, the one dude, who was it? Starts with an H. I forget his name. He was like, "You almost persuaded me to be a Christian." But it just is what it is. No matter what happens, the person that did it still sins, and I can't. So I forgive that person. I really, really, really do. But may God exact this for me, because this is just fucking ridiculous. One thing after another, after another, after another. So all in all, I want to do a little bit of a Bible study tonight. We're going to go to Psalm. Oh, wait. I want to show you. Yeah, and this is how I know. This is how I know the truth. So we're going to go to Matthew 18. Oh, wrong button. Matthew 18. Sorry, I'm still just a little flustered. This is what it is. So look at, we're going to read all this whole little paragraph right here. And I want you to pay attention to it because it's very good. So at the same time, at verse 1, at the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And Jesus called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. Verse 3, he said, and said, "Verily say unto you, verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." So except you be converted, right? We all know what that conversion is. It's you go from being a sinner to being a saint. You go from being a sinner to being perfect. That's the conversion. And when you do that, you become like a little children. You become like a child. Why? Because then you have no more knowledge of good and evil. So now you go by man's laws. Like, I know obviously that beating my kids isn't going to be a good thing. I know beating my wife is going to get me locked up, right? So I don't do it. That's how I know they're not going to have anything. There's nothing for them to have. So you got to become like a child, and you have no more knowledge of good and evil. So when you become converted, you become his child. So you are the child. Now watch. Verse 3. He says, and said, "Verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." Verse 4, "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." And why? Because if you look at, like I've got a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old, both of them are missing now, and I miss them very much. But neither one of them knows. I mean, they know when I tell them don't hit each other, right? They know I say don't hit, and then they stop. But when they're in it, they don't think about it. They don't stop to ask for forgiveness after. They don't care, right? They're little children. They're perfect. Their innocence is still intact, right? Like Adam and Eve before they ate the fruit. So this is what he says: "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Verse 5, and whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. So he says, except you be converted and become his little children. So once you become his children, once you become one of his children, you are his child. I am one of his children. My children are his children, right? So here's what it is. So once you're one of those little children, he says, and whoso shall receive such a little child in my name receiveth me. So whosoever receives a believer in the name of Jesus receives him. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me. That's talking about the converted believer, not just the little kid. He wasn't talking about a little kid. He's talking about the converted believer. Whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. And I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee you God's going to make good on his word. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good night, Caucasian Sasquatch. Still can't get over that name. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I've seen this play out in my life so many times in so many situations where people do us bogus and then it blows up in their face. So whoever did this, I turn you over to the devil, as I'm sure do about 50 people that I know of right now. It's over. So yeah, I am a little aggravated. Yes, I am a little heated. I'm okay. Like I just want my family to know I love them. They know the truth. So at the end of the day, it doesn't even doesn't matter. God's in control of everything, so He's allowing it. Whatever it is, He'll get even. But let's do Psalms 109. Let's go to Psalm 109. I just don't know, man. It's just fucked up. So anyway, Psalm 109. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hold not thy peace, O God of my praise, for the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. Oh, this was perfect. They compassed me about also with words of hatred and fought against me without a cause. For my love, they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. And they have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. That's what people don't really realize. If you still sin, even your prayers sin. That's oh yeah, Jim. I love her. I love her. I love you, Jim. I didn't think you'd be watching. I love you though. Just know that I know, and you know, and God knows. Don't doubt him. Trust him in all, man. I trust him in everything. I trust him in this. I trust him in everything. They got nothing. They can tear us apart. They got nothing. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. I did a prayer. I did like a little short poem in a description of this. That whoever did this to me and caused me to lose my kids for the night, may God cause him to lose his for life. I don't care at all. I've never done anything to hurt anybody. All I do is tell people the truth. And this is how they fucking repay me. And that's okay. That's okay. I forgive you. Jesus would forgive you too if you'd listen. I'd welcome you with open arms if you did the Bible study with me. Don't care who you are. Don't care what you did to me. Don't care. But at the end of the day, that person never will. And that's why this person did this. That's why these people do these things. Because they hate us. Let his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places. Now, if this did happen to be my neighbor's ex, I would never wish that on his children because his children are my family too. No matter what we've been through, I love them kids. And they come over. One's 19, I think. One's 19, and the other one's best friends with my daughters. And they all study Bible at my house. Everybody studies the Bible at my house. That's what my house is for. We've like literally turned it into a revolving church, like a revolving door church. People in and out all day. Bible study, Bible study, Bible study, Bible study. It's never going to change. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of the desolate places. Let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the stranger spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him. Let there let there be neither let there be any favor to his fatherless children. Let his posterity be cut off, and in the generation following let their name be blotted out. Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth, because that he remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken in heart. As he loved cursing, so let it come unto him. As he delighted not in blessing, so let it be far from him. As he clothed himself with cursing, like as with his garment, so let it come into his bowels like water, and like oil into his bones. Let it be unto him as the garment which covereth him, and for a girdle wherewith he is girdled continually. Let this be the reward of my adversaries from the Lord, and of them that speak evil against my soul. But do thou for me, O God the Lord, for thy name's sake, because thy mercy is good. Deliver thou me, for I am poor and needy, and my heart is wounded within me. I am gone like the shadow when it declineth. I am tossed up and down as the locust. My knees are weak through fasting. My flesh faileth of fatness. Mine doesn't. My flesh does not fail of fatness. If he had fed me anymore, I'd be a fucking elephant. 25. I became also a reproach unto them. When they looked upon me, they shake their heads. Help me, O Lord my God. O save me according to thy mercy, that they may know that this is thy hand, that thou, Lord, hast done it. Let them curse, but bless thou. When they arise, let them be ashamed, but let thy servant rejoice. This is my favorite verse. Let mine adversaries be clothed with shame, and let them cover themselves with their own confusion as with a mantle. I will greatly praise the Lord with my mouth. Yea, I will praise him among the multitude, for he shall stand at the right hand of the poor to save him from those that condemn his soul. It's the truth. Just is what it is. Yeah, you don't mess with God's people. And I don't got to do shit. I know I don't. I just trust him in everything. Just wanted to let you know, like, there's a video on here called Being Evicted for Being the Preacher. I mean, I've had police at my house constantly for nothing. They get there and they find out there's nothing. And in fact, me and the cop, we had a long talk about that today. He's like, we've been to your house a few times. He's like, every time we get there, there's nothing. I'm like, exactly. Like, my neighbors are just assholes. They don't believe in God. They hate the Bible verses we keep out front. We do this right here. I always show it because it's there. John 8:34. That's not what's on there now. Now it's something soft because I'm expecting a lot more problems. But the truth is, it's there. And we do this. This is what it is. And so I want my family to stay strong. I want people to see. And that was another thing too. The DCFS guy, he's like, let's not get anybody else involved. No, let's get everybody else involved. Let's get everybody involved. Let's tear apart my cameras. Let's tear apart what I got on my computer. Let's tear apart it all. And let's find out what I'm really about. I'm all for it because all you're gonna do is find out I'm normal and I am all about the Bible. There's nothing I do that they haven't done. And that's what's fun. Hypocrites, man. Fucking hypocrites. Vipers. And God loved them enough to die on a cross. And I love him enough to forgive him. It just sucks having to stay the night here, I guess. But I love my wife and I love my kids, and I expect them to stand strong. I expect them to walk uprightly, always, in all things. Don't fuck with unbelievers, because once you let unbelievers in your life, they fuck everything up. Because they hate us. They absolutely hate us. No matter how nice they seem, they hate us. They're liars and deceivers. I was going to go over First Peter, but I'm kind of tired. And I'm really aggravated. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's do it. First Peter. We got nothing better to do, and all I'm going to do is sit and stare at the wall. So First Peter's what we're going to do. 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, I don't know. Might get it all done. Job 23:12. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. You are damn Skippy. Absolutely. All right, First Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect. So he's to the strangers, right? To the ones he hasn't met, obviously, scattered throughout all these places. Elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Jesus Christ. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Blessed be God, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto the lively hope by the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible. Look at this. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again, born again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. In the last time. Faith unto salvation in the last time, wherein you greatly rejoice. I love this book. This is why I picked this one. Wherein you greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, you are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ, whom having not seen, you love, in whom, though now you see him not, yet believing, you rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. And I love this. I love this because that's what we go through. That's all this is. And if my kids are watching, if my family's watching, then that's what I want them to know. That's what we're going through. That's what this whole thing's about. It doesn't matter what we do. I could whisper in every debate that I go into. I could whisper. 1, I would get ran over. 2, I would still get kicked off. 3, it just doesn't have the same effect as really preaching. So, and I was just talking to this guy today. He's like, I was talking to this guy in the comments, and he was like, "Oh, you have no facts, blah 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 blah." And I asked him. I said, "Okay, answer me one question." I said, John 8:34. Jesus said, "Whoever committeth sin is the servant of sin." Is he lying? Yes or no? I asked him one simple question: is he lying? Yes or no? He's like, "That's a loaded question." I said, "Absolutely," because either you have to admit that no, he's not lying, and now you got a problem, or you have to call him a liar. It's one or the other. So that's what I was trying to show you guys earlier. When somebody says, "Oh, I don't even believe God exists," they had to first decide that he did exist in order to choose not to believe in him. Right? You have to to choose something. There has to be two choices. Like to choose between two things, there has to be two things on the table, and then you pick one. Right? So to choose not to believe in God, you had to first choose. You had to first see that he's on the table. Like you had to acknowledge that he was a choice. So there's no way out of that. So anytime you're dealing with an atheist, that's how you can deal with them. It's very simple. So, but this is what we go through: that the trial of your faith, being more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. So it doesn't matter what we go through. He knows. He's not stupid. God knows. He's in control of it all. You just got to let it ride out and see what he does. Verse 10, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you. Now remember, he's talking to these strangers, the elect, according to the foreknowledge of God. Searching what? Or what manner of time the Spirit of Christ, which was in them, did signify. The glory that now reported unto you by the gospel sent from heaven, which things the angels desire to look in. That to like angels in life all the time. They're around you all the time. You don't even know. It's just wherefore gird up loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for grace that is to be brought unto you the revelation of Jesus Christ. Obedient children, not fashioning yourselves formers in your ignorance. Because when he says be sober, he's talking about don't mix your wines. Right? He talked about old wine and the new wine. He talked about the revelation horror, drunk, the filthiness, the fornication. Like it's not talking about alcohol. It's talking about keep your mind sober. One road, that narrow road. Keep on that narrow road. And hope to the end for grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Oh, is everybody still there? That's weird. What's going on here? Can you guys see me? My service. Carry. Keeps reset. That's weird. All right, so anyway, obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the form of lust in your ignorance. So this right here talks about not sinning again. As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. It's getting all screwy. Oh, now, can you guys hear me now? Do. Oh wait, how about now? No, no, I'm trying to move the computer around and get better service. Right, Randall? It feels like, oh, man. Hang on. Stay with me. How about now? I opened up with a window. Okay. Yeah, all right. Service is back. Yeah, it's no joke. That's why, like, you have no idea how serious what we're doing. You guys have no idea how serious this is. Well, we know can take down every system in this world, and we don't have to do anything. All we got to do is preach. All right. Back to here. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. Be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is brought. Hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ, as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. In all manner of conversation, be holy. That means you got to be holy in all manner of conversation. Even the words fuck, bitch, ass, shit, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're holy because he made you holy. So be holy in all manner of conversation. Oh, fuck. I love you, Jim. I love you, Lee. I love you, kids. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I'm not giving up the gospel, and neither are you. Make this motivate you. Let this motivate you. Let it motivate you to preach. Let them bring whatever they got. Let them investigate us. Let us do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter. There is nothing. They're not going to find anything. They're going to find a very loving home. That's what they're going to find. That's it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. But as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation, because it is written, be you holy, for I am holy. And if you call on the Father, actually, let me respond here. Right. And if you call on the Father, who without respective persons, look at, without respective persons, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care who you think you were. He doesn't care if you're the president. He doesn't care if you're the leader of this corporation. You donated billions of dollars to charity. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. He cares, did you believe in Jesus? And he's going to ask you, did you sin? Do you sin? He's going to check your memories. You think he doesn't know? Like, you think he doesn't see what you do in the dark? You think he doesn't see what you do in secret? You think he doesn't know? He absolutely does know. He does know, and he died for that. And if you don't accept that, then you're done. And if you call on the Father, who without respect of persons judges according to every man's work, past the time of your sojourning here in fear. Past the time of your sojourning here in fear, he judges according to every man's work. A real believer can't sin; they're perfect. All things are pure. Titus 1:15. Unto the pure, all things are pure. You still got to submit to man's laws. Let me make that very clear. I think maybe I should stress that more during these studies. You really have to submit to man's laws. You can't give him anything. Don't ever give him anything. I love you. I love you too. Y'all know. So you can't give him anything. You can't give him nothing. You got to do everything that you're supposed to do by the law, by the book. And then when they tear you apart and they got nothing, then all they can do is falsely accuse you. And they can falsely accuse you till they're blue in the face. But the way the laws are written, God put all these people in charge. The way their laws are written, if they have no actual crime, then they can't convict you, right? Then there's nothing to convict you on. Then they have nothing. So they can falsely accuse you till they're blue in the face. They can try and scare the shit out of you all they want. But at the end of the day, they got nothing. And that's what it's going to be. That's what it's always going to be. It's beautiful. And if you call on a Father who without respect of persons judges according to every man's work, if you think you sin, then you're going to receive the wages of sin, and that is death. If you think you sin, you're going to receive the wages of sin because Jesus paid for that. Right? Now, I'm not preaching go be a piece of shit. I'm telling you submit to every law, submit to man's laws. They're there, they're common sense. Don't kill people, don't hurt children, don't do stupid shit. Like, they're there for good reason. That's why there's speed limits. If there wasn't speed limits, how many more accidents would we have? Right? There has to be. You gotta follow them. God put those things there for a reason. So he will judge you according to your work. Pass the time of your sojourn. Pass the time of your sojourning here in fear. For as much as you know that you were not redeemed with corruptible things as silver and gold from your vain conversation received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Christ, as a lamb without blemish and without spot. You were bought. We were bought, not with gold and silver, not with things created by him. We were bought with his own blood, who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you, who by him who by him do believe in God. So for you who by him believe in God, I'm one of those who by him do believe in God, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in God. So even in times like this, like what I'm going through right now, my faith and hope is in him. I don't give a shit about, like, I submit to man's laws. I don't give a shit about them. I'm not worried about anything because there's nothing these people can do because there's nothing, right? But it's that my faith is in God. I know he'll work it out. I know he'll trust it. I know he's in control of all things. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. 22. Seeing you have purified your souls, sin free, your souls, and obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren. See that you love one another with a pure heart fervently, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible. So if you're born again, you're incorruptible. Means you can't be corrupted. There is no sin. You cannot sin. It doesn't exist. There's no way for me to sin. I can't do it. Follow man's laws. That's all I need to do. Follow man's laws and endure till the end. Whew. Being born again and not of corruptible seed. So if you still sin, if you're still doing the sin, repent, repeat, you're still corruptible seed. You're not born again. Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever. And at this point, if anybody makes it this far and you do still happen to sin, right, then I need you to go do the salvation assurance, never sin again video. That's what it's called. Salvation assurance, never sin again. It's on this channel. It says revised version. It's got a little picture. It says be the light, and there's light coming through. Do that study. It's an hour and 48 minutes. Change the rest of your life. It'll change everything you thought you knew. It'll break your entire reality in half, and it'll put you, and you'll know you're saved. You'll know without a doubt. Oh, I hope everybody liked that video from today. I really do. It's a good video. So you'll know without a doubt. You'll know without a doubt. And that's what it's all about. You're able to know. It's possible. Oh, that being said, yeah, I wanted to do that. I wanted to mention that because I did. The cop that dropped me off, I John 8:34'd him. I asked him if he sinned. He said, yeah. And I made him read John 8:34 because he asked me, he originally asked, he's like, why do people hate you guys so much? And I'm like, well, do you really want to know? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'll show you. I pull out my Bible. I'm like, do you sin? He's like, yeah. I think his name is McDermott. His name was McDermott. He's a cool dude, really cool dude. I had a great conversation on the way here. Like, and I kind of explained a little bit. He's like, you got a channel? I'm like, yeah. So, and I asked him, do you sin? He said, yeah. I made him read John 8:34. And he looked up at me and I'm like, do you know what that means? He said, yeah, whoever sins is the servant of sin. I'm like, yep. Jesus said, if you sin, you're the servant of sin. You just told me you sinned and that makes you not saved. And he gave me, I'll never find, dude, it was fucking priceless. That look was priceless. But I knew right then and there that he understood why people were pissed, why I would have people out here doing this to us. So, but he stepped back. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to hate you for it. But then I turned around and showed him 1 John 3:9. I did ask him. You knew I was going to ask one of them. It was coming. So I did turn around and show him 1 John 3:9. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Or where is it? I'll put it up here. 1 John 3:9. Whosoever is born of God. We just talked about that in Peter reborn. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he's born of God. And I gave him a very basic 30-second rundown about Jesus fulfilled the law. When he died, the law died. You're no longer under that law. As an officer, he understood you got to follow man's law. And that's what we talked about on the way here. I said 4 years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago was the last time I actually got arrested. And all I've ever had is stupid shit on my record anyway. I was like, I just stopped breaking the fucking law. Like, it's not hard. Just stop breaking the fucking law. You won't have any problems. And so we were talking about that on the way here. So he understood that. And I explained to him, Jesus died, the law died. Jesus got up, the law did not. Right? We trust in Jesus and we're not under the law, so we can't break it. And I compared it to a speeding ticket. I'm like, I can't get a speeding ticket when there's no speed limit, right? I said, but that doesn't mean going 150 miles an hour is a smart idea. It's not. So it went really good, actually. It was very awkward after that. So I gave him my name and the channel. Everything. Oh, isn't that the truth? Dude, what if God says that to them when they get there? You have the right to remain silent. Everything that you have said will be used against you. Ooh, that's brutal. And that's what Jesus says in Matthew 12:37. You'll be justified by your words, or you shall, da, da, da. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. You condemn yourself with your own words. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. So, verse 22 or 23. Yeah, 23. Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man is as the flower of the grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. But the word of the Lord endureth forever. And this is the word by which the gospel is preached unto you. It's perfect. Hello, Heavenly Bound 71. So this is it. This is the word of the Lord endureth forever. And that's what these people don't realize. They're like, oh yeah, they don't want to look at John 8:34. They don't want to hear that because they sin, they still sin, they're the servant of sin. They don't want to hear that. But that verse has been around for like thousands of years. And it's going to be around until it's all done. So I don't know, you know, I don't know what to tell them. Don't know what to tell them. I don't know who this is, but hello. Uh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna wrap it actually right here. I think I'm gonna wrap it. It's been an hour. I'm just done. It's been a long day. I miss my family. I miss my children. This will be the first night I've been away from Bargy, except for when I stayed with Lee at the hospital. This will be the first night I've been away from my son since 3 years. I miss my Moogie. Really, just not happy. Not happy about this. But he says in Matthew 5:11 though, he said, "Rejoice, because you know, your reward in heaven is great." And I trust that. Oh man, do I trust that? And I expect my kids to trust that. I expect them to trust that above everything because Jesus cannot lie. God cannot lie. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted the prophets which were before you. And so I stand here, sitting here with a shit-eating grin on my face because I'm still saved and my kids are still saved, and it's not going to matter. They could tear us apart from one end of the earth to the other, and I'm still going to have them for eternity. Right? We're still gonna we're gonna play in the treehouse. That's what it is. We're gonna play in the fucking treehouse. You have no idea, Heavenly Bound, no idea what we're going through right now. So, yeah, modern day persecution, absolutely very real. I go through it all the time, and it's so much like you see all these fake people who they still sin and they say they believe they're not saved. They go to these third world countries. They go in, they like instigate shit, get themselves locked up, and they get the publicity from it, right? The real believers, the real believers. There's no publicity. You never hear about it. Nobody would touch our story with a 10-foot pole because it all stems from the Bible, Bible studies, Bible verses outside our house. You don't hear about their stories. Just like I don't anticipate anybody's going to hear about this, except you guys. I love y'all very much, very much. Um, if you're on here and you still sin, go do the salvation assurance never sin again video. Because if you still sin, you're still not saved. Jesus said, if you sin, you're the servant of sin. Don't bet against him. Just don't do it. You're going to lose. He's telling the truth. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. He really paid for it all. Oh, man, he really fucking paid for it all. It's so exciting. It really is just so exciting. Even in all this shit that we've been through in the last year, it's just every day's a new day. Oh, I love you, kids. I love you, wife. Salute the brethren. And tomorrow, I think, is our normal schedule. Scheduled live at 8 o'clock, right? Yep. So every Thursday and Sunday at 8 o'clock, we do Bible studies. Next week or tomorrow, I want to start John. I want to do the book of John. I might start it tomorrow. We'll do like 5, 10 chapters, something like that, a day. But we're gonna do it. I love you all. Kids, take care of the house. Take care of the babies. Make sure everything's clean, spotless. They're gonna tear us apart, and we gotta survive it, and we will. I'm not worried about anything. But I love you all. Enjoy your night. Stay out of trouble, and yeah, John 8:34 means exactly what it says. Exactly what it says, and Jesus was telling the truth Enjoy your night.